Have you ever wondered if the people around you truly have your best interests at heart? Or are they just pretending, wearing masks, hiding their real intentions? Imagine the world as a game of chess, where loyalty is the ultimate currency. Yet so many are playing dirty, manipulating your trust, testing how far you'll go, how much you'll give. It's a brutal reality. And if you're honest with yourself, maybe you've been burned by fake friends, betrayed by someone you thought was loyal, or felt the sting of someone's hidden agenda. Think about the last time you felt someone was lying, hiding something, or just waiting for the right moment to turn on you. Ever had that gut feeling that someone's loyalty is just a facade? That behind their smile there's a game being played, one you're not even aware of? Maybe you've experienced this subtle paranoia, this creeping suspicion that not everyone is who they seem to be. And it's exhausting. It eats away at your confidence, your peace of mind. Here's the truth. Understanding who's genuinely loyal, who's testing your boundaries, who's playing you, that's the key to survival, to thriving, to protecting what matters most. Because in a world where loyalty can be bought, manipulated, or simply worn as a mask, you need a way to see through the deception. You need the tools to identify who's real and who's just pretending. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. 5 powerful ways to spot the true loyalty in others, ways that go beyond words, beyond promises. These are the hidden signals, the subtle cues that reveal whether someone is genuinely on your side or just pretending. Because in the game of life, knowing who's real can mean the difference between victory and ruin. If this topic has made you question your circle, your relationships, or even your own instincts, then I invite you to stay tuned. Because what you're about to learn could change how you see the world, and how you protect yourself from the Machiavellian games others play. And if you're tired of being manipulated, tired of feeling unsure, then subscribe now. Because here, we don't just talk about the surface. We go deep. We uncover what no one else dares to confront. This is your first step toward mastering loyalty, your first step toward taking control. So, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in a sea of uncertainty, desperately grasping at shadows of trust that constantly slip through your fingers? It's as if your heart is caught in a relentless storm, torn between wanting to believe in people and fearing their hidden motives. You walk through your days with a heavy weight pressing down on your chest, questioning whether anyone is truly on your side or just playing a game in the dark. This internal conflict eats away at your peace, turning your mind into a battlefield of doubt and suspicion where every smile could conceal a knife. You tell yourself to be cautious, to watch for signs, but even the smallest gesture becomes a trap, another puzzle piece in the maze of deception you can't escape. You find yourself caught in a vicious cycle, constantly second-guessing every word, every action, every promise. One day, someone appears genuine, and you let your guard down, only to be betrayed again. The pain is sharp, cutting deeper each time, yet somehow you keep hoping that this time it will be different. You want to believe in loyalty, in sincerity, in trust that isn't just a mirage. But reality keeps proving otherwise. People manipulate, deceive, and hide their true selves behind masks. And so you become more guarded, more distant, afraid to get close for fear of being hurt once more. This emotional roller coaster is exhausting. Your mind is a constant battleground, fighting to hold on to some semblance of hope while fearing the inevitable betrayal. Every encounter, every interaction feels like a test, but you're never sure what the real score is. You question whether your instincts are just paranoia or if your feelings are warning you about something real. It's a suffocating feeling, like being trapped in a cage of your own doubts, unable to breathe freely because you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You wonder if this pain will ever end, if you'll ever find genuine loyalty in a world that seems so full of deception. And deep down, you realize that this endless cycle of hope and disappointment is slowly breaking you. It's eroding your trust in yourself and in others, leaving you isolated in a world where everyone seems to hide their true intentions. It's a lonely, relentless journey, one that leaves you questioning whether you're even capable of truly knowing who's real, or if everyone is just pretending. And the worst part? You're tired of pretending too. That deep down you know the pain of betrayal lingers behind every smile and it's tearing your soul apart. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you notice is the heaviness in your chest, a weight that lingers even before your feet touch the floor. The familiar feeling of doubt creeps in as you reach for your phone, scrolling through messages and notifications, wondering if someone's words are genuine or just another layer of deception. You catch yourself overanalyzing every text, every smile, every gesture, searching for hidden motives that may not exist. The constant suspicion gnaws at your mind, turning simple interactions into treacherous treacheries. As you go about your day, this internal turmoil manifests in small, almost unconscious behaviors. You hesitate before trusting a compliment, questioning if it's sincere or just a manipulative ploy. You second-guess the intentions behind a kind word or a favor, fearing that beneath the surface lies a trap designed to pit you against your own instincts. When someone shares their feelings, you listen carefully, but your mind is already filtering their words through a lens of skepticism, looking for inconsistencies or signs of dishonesty. You find yourself withdrawing emotionally, keeping your vulnerability locked away because opening up feels like stepping into a field of landmines. There's a persistent urge to double-check, to verify, to confirm that what you're experiencing is real. You replay conversations in your mind, dissecting every phrase, every pause, searching for a slip-up, a sign of betrayal. Even in moments of peace, a flicker of anxiety remains. What if the person you trust is just pretending, hiding their true intentions behind a mask? You develop a habit of overanalyzing, overthinking, trying to decipher the truth from the lies that seem to lurk everywhere around you. Your thoughts become a tangled web of suspicion, making it impossible to breathe freely. This emotional claustrophobia manifests physically too. You feel a tightness in your stomach, a racing heartbeat when someone you care about doesn't respond immediately, or when they cancel plans unexpectedly. Your mind spirals into worst-case scenarios, imagining betrayals or manipulations where there are none. You become hypervigilant, watching for signs of deceit in even the smallest details. A slight change in tone, a missed call, a late reply. The continuous cycle of doubt and mistrust begins to wear down your sense of self, eroding your confidence and leaving you feeling isolated, even in the presence of others. You walk through your daily routine feeling like an outsider, constantly on guard, never fully present. Every interaction feels like a potential threat, every gesture a possible deception. You find yourself questioning the sincerity of your own feelings, wondering if your intuition is just paranoia or a genuine warning sign. The emotional exhaustion is overwhelming, draining your energy and leaving you numb. You start to wonder if this endless cycle of suspicion will ever end. If trust is even possible in a world where masks are so easily worn and broken, promises so easily forgotten. And deep down, you know that this pain, this silent suffering, is slowly suffocating your spirit. This is a truth that cuts deep when you live with doubt, when every word, gesture, and silence feels like a potential deception. You may have heard the phrase, but it resonates differently when it's your reality. Because trust, in its purest form, is an act of vulnerability, a choice to believe that others are honest, that their intentions align with your well-being. But what happens when that trust is shattered, when every interaction feels like a test, a game of deception? That's where the philosophical concept of moral skepticism comes into play, a way of understanding why your heart is so guarded and your mind so suspicious. Moral skepticism suggests that human beings, by nature, are prone to doubt, mistrust, and suspicion. It's not just about believing that others might lie. It's about questioning whether anyone can be truly sincere. This idea isn't rooted in cynicism, but in a recognition of our innate psychological vulnerabilities. We are deeply wired to protect ourselves from betrayal, from manipulation, from being hurt again. When you live constantly questioning the motives behind every word, you're not simply being cautious. You're engaging in a survival strategy that morphs into a prison of your own making. Imagine this. Every smile hides a potential mask. Every gesture could be a lie. Your mind becomes a battlefield, where the need to trust is constantly at odds with the fear of being betrayed. You analyze every message, every glance, searching for signs of deceit. The pain of that vigilance is exhausting. It wears down your confidence, isolates you from genuine connection, and feeds a cycle of suspicion that becomes harder to escape. It's as if you're walking through a fog, trying to find clarity, but only seeing shadows of truth. Ask yourself, how often do you doubt your own perceptions? Do you question whether your feelings are valid, or are you convinced that everything is a threat? Have you started to see betrayal in innocent actions, as if the world is conspiring against you? These questions aren't meant to judge, but to illuminate the deep-rooted fear that fuels your suspicion. Because understanding that this mistrust is a natural human response, an echo of our primal instincts, can begin to ease its grip on you. It's part of the human condition to doubt, to question, to be cautious. But here's the challenge. If mistrust is an inherent part of human nature, how do you discern who's truly loyal? How do you differentiate between genuine connection and manipulation? These questions set the stage for the next step, the true test of your ability to see through the masks. Because in a world where everyone wears a different face, your journey to find authenticity begins with understanding this fundamental truth. Trust is a risk, and the only way to navigate it is by learning to recognize who's real behind their facade. Are you ready to explore the tools that will help you distinguish the genuine from the deceitful? The answers await. The idea that trust is fragile, easily broken, haunts you. You're not naive. You've simply adopted a mindset rooted in the harsh reality that the world is a place of masks and deception. This isn't weakness. It's a reflection of a deep, unconscious pattern shaped by what psychologists call moral skepticism. It's the idea that humans, by nature, are prone to deception, and that trust is a risk you cannot afford to take lightly. This pattern is not something you chose. It's something you inherited from a lifetime of disappointments, betrayals, and the silent agreement that vulnerability equals vulnerability to pain. In your routine, this manifests vividly. Think about the last time you questioned a colleague's sincerity when they complimented your work. Instead of accepting the praise, you wondered if they were trying to gain favor or manipulate your perception. That doubt is a direct reflection of the psychological lens through which you view others, one that assumes duplicity before sincerity. Or consider the moment when a close friend invites you to share your worries. Instead of opening up fully, you hold back, questioning whether revealing your vulnerability might be used against you later. Your instinct is to protect yourself from potential harm, and that instinct is a survival mechanism rooted in moral skepticism. This pattern influences your behaviors in subtle but impactful ways. You might find yourself constantly analyzing others' words and actions, searching for hidden motives. You second-guess compliments, questioning if they are genuine or just a way to manipulate your perception. You hesitate to fully trust new acquaintances, preferring to keep a safe emotional distance. Even when someone shows kindness, your mind questions their motives, wondering if it's a prelude to betrayal. These behaviors aren't signs of weakness. They are the echoes of an ingrained belief that trust must be earned and that everyone has a hidden agenda. You're not broken. You're stuck in an unconscious pattern that has served to protect you in a world perceived as dangerous and unpredictable. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward change. It's crucial to see that your tendency to doubt isn't a flaw. It's a survival strategy that has kept you safe, but it no longer serves your growth. You are not inherently distrustful. You are conditioned to see the world through a lens of suspicion. The real breakthrough comes when you understand that trust is inherently a risk worth taking, and that genuine connection requires a conscious effort to see beyond the masks. You can learn to differentiate between genuine sincerity and deception, not by forcing yourself to trust blindly, but by developing a sharper perception and a balanced approach to vulnerability. Remember, this pattern is not your true nature, but an old, unconscious script playing in the background. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are human, adapted to a world that often rewards caution over openness. But now, with awareness, you have the power to rewrite your story. As you begin to see trust not as a betrayal waiting to happen, but as an act of courage, you step closer to authentic connections. And with that step, a new chapter of genuine relationships begins to unfold, inviting you to see the world and yourself through a different lens. Now, prepare yourself to explore how this understanding can transform your relationships and how to recognize who is truly real among the masks. Have you ever wondered why trusting someone feels like stepping into the unknown, like risking a piece of yourself for something uncertain and fragile? It's because deep down, you carry a quiet voice that warns you. Trust is dangerous. It's a survival instinct born from past betrayals, from the masks you've encountered, from the times your own vulnerability was used against you. This voice whispers that everyone's true face is hidden beneath layers of deception, that beneath their smiles lie motives you'll never fully understand. And so, you build walls. You become cautious. You analyze every gesture, every word, trying to decipher who's genuine and who's wearing a mask. But here's the truth. This constant suspicion is not just a defense mechanism. It's a reflection of a deeper fear, the fear that if you let someone in, you might lose yourself. That trusting might mean losing control, exposing your soft underbelly to a world that has already hurt you. It's as if, in your attempt to protect your heart, you've turned yourself into a detective, forever searching for signs of betrayal in the smallest of gestures. And in this endless search, you lose sight of one vital thing, your own authenticity. You become a prisoner of your skepticism, unable to see the genuine kindness that might still exist. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you spent trying to read others, trying to predict their motives, trying to guard your heart? How many moments of true connection have you sacrificed on the altar of suspicion? Because the irony is that in your quest to avoid pain, you might be creating the very loneliness you fear. You might be sabotaging the possibility of real intimacy, convincing yourself that everyone is a threat when, in fact, the real threat is hiding within your own walls. Now, the question is, how long are you going to continue living like this? How long will you keep sacrificing trust on the altar of safety, even if it means sacrificing your chance at genuine connection? Because what if the act of trusting isn't a weakness, but the ultimate act of courage? What if the real betrayal is living in perpetual doubt, never allowing yourself to experience the fullness of human connection? The pain of mistrust is exhausting. It's a silent weight that drains your spirit day after day. But the real heartbreak is the life you're denying yourself, a life where vulnerability is seen not as a weakness, but as an act of bravery. I invite you to reflect. Are you ready to question the narrative you've built around trust? Are you willing to consider that perhaps the masks you see are not always meant to deceive, but sometimes are simply human? That beneath the surface, there might be honesty waiting to be recognized, if only you dared to look with less suspicion and more curiosity. Share your thoughts. What has trust cost you? And what might it give you if you allowed yourself to believe in the possibility of sincerity again? Remember, the journey toward genuine connection begins with a single act, an act of faith in yourself and in others. They laugh at your jokes, but you catch the quick glance, the slight hesitation before they respond. When you share something personal, a small vulnerability, you notice how quickly they change the subject or offer a superficial smile, as if they're waiting for you to slip up, to reveal more than you intend. It's these tiny moments, these micro-failures to fully trust, that weigh heavily on your chest, making every word feel like a calculated move in a game you didn't sign up for. In everyday life, this manifests in countless ways. Perhaps someone offers you help, but you hesitate, questioning their true motives. Do they genuinely care, or are they just waiting for an opening to use your openness against you? Maybe a colleague invites you to a social event, but you sense they're more interested in how you can serve their agenda than in your company. You smile politely, but inside, a voice whispers, What's their real reason? Are they being friendly or are they just pretending? These small actions, an overly familiar tone, a too quick apology, a delayed response, begin to feel like signals, clues to whether someone is genuine or just putting on a facade. Over time, these doubts create a cycle of emotional exhaustion. You start to analyze every gesture, every word, every silence. You become hyper-aware of their body language, searching for inconsistencies that might confirm your fears. You ask yourself if you're just paranoid or if your instincts are onto something. The more you question, the more isolated you become. You withdraw, afraid of being hurt or betrayed again, convinced that trust is a risk you simply can't afford. The small, everyday interactions that once seemed harmless now feel like dangerous minefields. Every smile from a friend, every kind gesture from a colleague carries an undercurrent of suspicion that erodes your sense of connection. And in this quiet, persistent doubt, there's a deep ache. You're craving genuine connection, but the fear of being manipulated or betrayed keeps you stuck behind the walls you've built. You're tired of pretending everything is okay, tired of the emotional armor that isolates you from real intimacy. It's painful to realize that in your effort to protect yourself, you may be sacrificing the very relationships that could bring you true happiness. This emptiness, this loneliness, it's a heavy weight that shadows your days and haunts your nights, leaving you wondering if trust is just a fragile illusion you can't afford to believe in anymore. Perhaps it's the way your partner hesitates before sharing their feelings, or how your best friend always seems to have an excuse when you need them most. These small signs, hidden beneath surface interactions, reveal the deeper truth: who's truly loyal and who's just pretending. Recognizing genuine connection in everyday life is essential, yet painfully difficult when past betrayals linger like shadows. You've learned to question intentions, to analyze every word, every gesture, wondering if they're just being kind or if they're hiding something more selfish. This constant vigilance chips away at your emotional well-being, leading to a cycle of loneliness, even in the company of those you care about. In romantic relationships, this pattern becomes even more intense. You might find yourself doubting your partner's love after a minor disagreement, replaying conversations in your mind, searching for signs of deception. Perhaps they're late coming home, and your mind races with possibilities. Are they seeing someone else? Are they hiding something? These thoughts grow, feeding your insecurity, making it harder to trust what's right in front of you. It's not just about suspicion. It's about the emotional self-neglect that comes with constantly second-guessing. You stop sharing your fears, your dreams, your pain, because the risk of being misunderstood or betrayed feels too great. Instead, you build walls around your heart, convincing yourself that protecting yourself is more important than risking vulnerability. This emotional self-neglect becomes a cycle. You suppress your needs to avoid disappointment, dismiss your feelings to keep the peace, and in doing so, you disconnect from your own truth. You pretend everything is fine, even when inside, you're aching for real connection. The fear of being manipulated or hurt again becomes a barrier, preventing authentic intimacy. You might settle for superficial comfort, convincing yourself that it's enough, even though a part of you knows it's not. That loneliness deepens, and you start to question whether anyone can truly be loyal. You wonder if the pain of trusting is worth the risk, or if you're destined to live in a world where genuine connection is just an illusion. Ask yourself, are you willing to keep sacrificing your emotional health for the illusion of safety? Or will you summon the courage to risk vulnerability, knowing that real loyalty and love only flourish when you dare to trust? The choice is yours. Will you continue to hide behind walls, or will you allow yourself to believe in the possibility of genuine connection? Because true loyalty isn't about never being hurt. It's about trusting despite the risk, and in doing so, finding something real worth fighting for. Are you ready to face that truth? The constant tension, underlying anxiety, and unresolved doubts don't just stay in our minds, they manifest physically, whispering to us through symptoms we might dismiss as trivial. Headaches that come out of nowhere, persistent fatigue, stomach aches that linger without clear reason, these are more than mere coincidences. They are the body's desperate cry for emotional boundaries, for space to breathe and process what we're holding inside. When trust is fragile and we keep our guard up, our bodies absorb that stress, turning it into physical pain, tight muscles, or even chronic illness. Every time you suppress a feeling of betrayal or doubt, your body feels it. The tightness in your chest during moments of suspicion, the knot in your stomach when you question someone's loyalty, these are psychosomatic signals, physical symptoms rooted in emotional turmoil. Imagine a scenario. You walk into a room and feel a knot tighten in your stomach, but you brush it off as indigestion. Later, you notice your shoulders are constantly tense, as if carrying an invisible weight. Over time, this persistent tension can develop into migraines or chronic back pain simply because your body is trying to communicate that you're not setting healthy emotional boundaries. When you ignore or suppress feelings of distrust or vulnerability, your nervous system remains in a heightened state of alert, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream. This chronic stress can weaken your immune system, cause sleep disturbances, and even lead to heart problems. These physical symptoms aren't random. They are a mirror of unacknowledged, unmanaged emotions that your body refuses to carry silently any longer. Your physical health is directly linked to your emotional well-being. If you're constantly feeling anxious, irritable, or drained, ask yourself, what am I ignoring beneath the surface? Are you giving yourself permission to feel hurt or betrayed? Are you setting boundaries that protect your mental health? Or are you tolerating toxic relationships out of fear of loneliness? Every symptom is a plea from your body, a call to recognize what you've been denying yourself. You deserve to listen to these signals. Your body is begging for emotional boundaries, for the space to process, heal, and regain control. It's urgent that you understand. Ignoring these signs only deepens the cycle of pain and disconnection. Your health depends on your willingness to tune in, to confront the truths you've been avoiding, and to prioritize your emotional safety. Don't wait until the pain becomes unmanageable. Your body is already screaming for your attention. The time to act is now before silence turns into permanent damage. But slowly that kindness begins to wear thin, like a candle burning at both ends. The more you give, the more others expect, and the more they demand, as if your limits are invisible. You become a source of endless support, a safety net that everyone relies on, but no one ever asks if you're okay. And then, the exhaustion sets in. It's like carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. You don't notice the weight at first because you're so focused on keeping everything together. But month after month, that weight gnaws at your shoulders, your back, your spirit. You start to feel a dull ache in your chest, a constant fatigue that refuses to go away no matter how much you rest. Your energy diminishes, replaced by a weariness that seeps into every corner of your life. When you wake up in the morning, it's not excitement or hope that greets you, but a sinking feeling. Another day of giving, of bending, of sacrificing pieces of yourself just to keep the peace. This cycle is like a snowball rolling downhill, at first small, manageable. But as it gains momentum, it grows larger, faster, unstoppable. Month after month, the demands grow louder, the exhaustion deeper. Your patience thins, your emotional reserves dry up. You start to feel like a shell of yourself, tired, irritable, disconnected. You're caught in a vortex where the more you pour out, the more others take, and the more drained you become. It's as if your soul is a candle slowly melting away in the darkness, flickering weaker with each passing day. And yet, you keep giving, convinced that if you stop, everything will fall apart. But what if the real collapse is already happening, just out of sight? When exhaustion becomes your constant state, how much more can you endure before you forget who you really are? Your support is more than just a click. It's a beacon for others who are silently struggling with the same doubts, the same fears, and the same desire for authenticity. When you show your appreciation, you're helping this message reach more hearts that need to hear it. Remember, transformation begins with acknowledgement, and your light can be the first step toward breaking free from the cycle of exhaustion and superficial loyalty. You have the power to change your story, to reclaim your energy, and to stand firm in your truth. So, hit that like button and let's continue this journey together. Now reflect on what we've uncovered so far. You've felt the weight of emotional fatigue, that relentless cycle of giving and giving, often without acknowledgement or reciprocation. It's like carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, slowly draining your vitality, leaving you exhausted physically and emotionally. You've seen how the desire to be loyal and helpful can turn into a trap, blinding you to your own needs until you're lost in the repetition of pain and disappointment. The philosophical insights reveal that understanding loyalty isn't about blind devotion, but about authentic connection and mutual respect. The symptoms are clear: irritability, burnout, disconnection from yourself. And yet, despite this awareness, you might find yourself stuck in a pattern of giving more, out of fear that if you stop, everything will fall apart. This cycle can feel unbreakable, like a snowball gaining momentum, threatening to erase your true self. But here's the truth. Recognizing this pattern is the first brave step toward liberation. You are not destined to live in exhaustion. You have the power to redefine your boundaries, to prioritize your well-being, and to seek genuine relationships rooted in mutual respect. Your journey toward authenticity begins now. Remember, every moment of discomfort is a sign that you're ready for change. You're capable of breaking free from this cycle, of reclaiming your energy, and of creating a life where loyalty is a choice, not an obligation. Stay with me. The next step is your awakening, your rebirth. The path to true freedom starts here, and it's waiting for you to take that first courageous step. Every step you take toward understanding yourself and setting healthy boundaries is a step toward reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your happiness. The cycle of exhaustion, the weight of false loyalty, and the fear of losing what's familiar, these do not define you. They are simply challenges you can overcome. You have within you the resilience to break free from patterns that no longer serve your highest good. You are capable of creating relationships based on genuine respect and mutual care. The power to change lies in your hands, and each new day brings a fresh opportunity to choose yourself, to prioritize your well-being, and to stand firm in your authenticity. Believe in the possibility of a new story, one where your boundaries are respected, your energy is restored, and your relationships reflect your true values. You are not your past or your pain. You are the architect of your future. And that future begins today, with the decision to embrace your worth and to step into a life filled with hope, clarity, and genuine connection. Remember, every moment of discomfort is a signpost pointing toward growth. Your journey may be challenging, but it is also incredibly empowering. The path to liberation and self-love is yours to walk. Take that first courageous step now. Your transformation awaits. In the next chapter, you will discover powerful ways to identify who truly cares and who is just wearing a mask. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. This awareness empowers you to nurture genuine connections and let go of those that drain your energy or deceive your trust. It's a powerful reminder that the choice to surround yourself with authenticity is always within your hands. Your transformation begins when you decide to prioritize your emotional well-being, to set boundaries, and to seek relationships rooted in respect and truth. You have the strength to rewrite your story, to choose growth over familiarity, and to embrace your journey of self-discovery with courage. If this message resonated with you, take the next step now. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of this empowering journey, and most importantly, watch the next video I'm leaving on the screen. This isn't just content. It's your pathway to deeper self-awareness and emotional liberation. Every step you take today is a step toward a life filled with authentic connections and inner peace. Believe in your power to change, to grow, and to create the life you truly deserve. The future is yours to shape, so make that choice now, and let this be the moment you decide to live with purpose, clarity, and unwavering authenticity.